Hi, everyone. I'm just letting everybody in, and then I'm going to hit mute, but there was a bunch of people. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. Okay. And we're going to give about 2 to 3 minutes for my notes together here and for everybody to get in. All right. One more minute and we're going to get started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We are being recorded. Just confirmed that. So today's meeting is going to be a bunch of different things. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read a couple of passages from other tribe members of advice to other tribe members and to new tribe members. I forgot I had these and I want to read these. And then I want to talk about markers of progress besides the scale, things that matter more importantly than the scale. And I want to touch on 2 things also. So first thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to touch on one thing. First thing I'm going to touch on is when something has calories, but it doesn't show you the macros, your proteins, your carbs, your fats, it has to have macros and calories equate to each other. So if something says 0 carbs, but it has 5 calories or 4 calories or 6 calories, you have to research it. You have to Google it and see, because there has to be a macro associated with the calories. Calories and macros are one and the same. You can't have one without the other. So for example, Diet Snapple iced tea, someone brought to my attention. It says 0 this, 0 that, 0 everything, but there's still a gram of sugar. So that does equal 4 carbs. It's a less than a gram of sugar, but so it does equal 4 carbs. But the FDA does not require food, drinks, or anything to print if it's less than 1 gram per serving. So a Snapple drink is usually 2 servings per bottle. So if it's a half a carb, if it's let's say 5 calories, it's still a full carb. You have to track it. Tic Tacs say 0 everything. It's the 0. Well, that's totally impossible. 1 Tic Tac has a half a carb. So if you eat 2 Tic Tacs, that's a full carb. If you eat 10 Tic Tacs, that's 5 carbs. It's easy to eat 10 Tic Tacs. So I have a funny story to tell you about that. when I worked at the Orange Theater in Royal Palm Beach, this is probably like maybe 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Jenna and I, she was the owner, and she's a big fitness person as well. And we were eating, you know, the big containers of the Tic Tacs, like the monster ones. We would walk in and we would joke around and say, oh, this should last us about 3 hours. And we would literally eat the Tic Tacs and tell ourselves that we were being healthy. So one day I came home and I was talking to Mike and I was like, you know, I think it's so freaking awesome that the Tic Tacs have nothing in it. He's like, Shannon, are you kidding? He's like, how many did you eat? I'm like, the whole bottle. We figured it out. It was like 77 carbs or 57 carbs because it was like 100 Tic Tacs in the bottle. It was crazy. He's like, of all people, you're a freaking nutritionist. You didn't even think about it. I'm like, well, it didn't even occur to me because they said 0. So after that point, Jenna and I never had them again. Like we were eating bottles of them every day. We were ordering them online. It was crazy. So you have to be really mindful of things like that because it does add up. Laura, I know you're laughing because you could totally picture me and Jenna doing that too. So be mindful of what you think you're eating or think you're drinking. If there's calories, there's macros. If there's macros, there's calories. Everybody got me on that one? Okay. I have no problem with those meal plans like Deliver Lean and Ideal Nutrition and Clean Eats and all that stuff. It's natural. It's all food. It's not processed food. It's real food. They're just making it for you so you don't have to make it. Just be very mindful of what you're buying when you order that because a lot of them are keto based, which means your fat is going to be enough for one day in one meal. So you really have to be mindful of that. Someone mentioned it to me the other day. They're like, wow, you know, I ate this thing and I was already done with my fats and I had nothing for the rest of the day. And I'm like, yeah, because it was keto based. So you have to be mindful of that when you guys are ordering food or getting foods. You know, I kind of do all paleo stuff. So when I order my meals, because I do order meals sometimes, I keep them in the freezer just in case, because they're good for like 6 to 8 weeks. I order the paleo category because then you know it's all healthy food and you know that you're going to have a lot of carbs, you're going to get proteins and not too much fats. So just keep that in mind with that. I'm just trying to answer questions that I think of that were coming up. Now I'm going to read just a couple of things that people gave me because I was going to go around the room, but then I figured I didn't prepare anybody. So I pulled these up. These are things that previous tribe members would say to new tribe members or current tribe members that are struggling. I would tell them to track everything in the morning. It will help you stay on track and it's easier to hit your numbers when it's pre-logged. I know it's a lot of protein, but trust the process. Your body will want it. Trust the journey, it works, and you can eat carbs. It may be a little overwhelming at first, but it does get easier. And if you stay consistent, the weight will come off. I would tell someone new to find 1 or 2 breakfasts and lunches that fit into the macros and repeat them every day. Then find 4 to 5 dinners and do the same each week. It makes it so much easier to manage over a long period of time. I would tell a tribe member, if you stray off course, get back on. The challenge is between you, your mind, and your body. That's amazing because that is so true. Nobody else but you. You have to be willing to make lifestyle changes and new habits. Someone said, it's not as bad as you think. That's fine. Planning ahead is my advice before you eat it. If you eat it, it's too late. You can't take it back. If there's something you really look forward to in your day to eat, make sure you plan ahead and track it. You're less likely to go off track or binge, and you know you're going to have it waiting for you. That's so true. Stay focused. It will get easier. Don't stress. Just try and enjoy it and have fun on the new journey to a healthier lifestyle. I would tell new tribe members to listen to Shannon. She knows her shit. I always have to say that one when I read these. Don't be discouraged and take it one day at a time. It'll get easier as you go. Just be patient. Shannon knows her shit, so having a coach is amazing. Change doesn't happen overnight, which is why I'm doing a second challenge. Having a group of support is great. Utilize it. I've been to every meeting that Shannon has had since she started her Shred Tribe on Zoom. And this is perfect because this is going to bring us into the next thing. I guess the one thing I would say to new tribe members, although the scale going down is exciting, if the weight loss stops and the scale doesn't move, do not get discouraged, keep tracking. You will get smaller, and I'm seeing muscles in my legs and my waistline is shrinking. I feel stronger, clothes are getting loose, and the physical changes happen. So on that note, I want to talk about two things. First thing is, when you track macros, you are not going, when you're on any new lifestyle change, you are not going to lose weight on the scale every week, every single person. It's not going to happen. Your body will not allow that to happen. A lot of times you'll have a good loss, and then the next week you'll stay the same because your body's adjusting to that really good loss. And then the next week you'll have a regular loss. Or you might stay the same for 2 weeks. That's not a plateau. That's just your body regulating. And on the same note, your body, there's so many reasons why your body, when you get on the scale, you can weigh like 155 on Monday, and then on Wednesday 150, and then on Thursday 154. And you're like, why did I lose 5 pounds and gain it back? Well, did you really lose 5 pounds? It was 48 hours. So let's be realistic first. It's not going to happen. You're not on a diet. So you're either retaining water, your scale moved, you lost some stress, there's always a reason, but that's not fat loss. That's just a scale movement. Scale movement is not the end all to be all, because you have no idea getting on that scale. If you're losing fat, you're losing muscle, you're retaining water, you peed a lot the day before, you drank a lot of alcohol, you had a lot of salt, you ate some nachos. Like, there's so many things. So there are a variety of factors that will weigh in on your scale, no pun intended. Sodium consumption, muscle soreness. So when we are sore, we will weigh heavier. And the reason why is because your body is holding on to that lactic acid. It's holding on to water. When you leave the gym a lot of times and you lift and you're like, man, I feel swole. And you feel all pumped up. If you got on the scale, that would be insane. You would lose your mind because the scale would be heavier. So if you did a huge, either, half marathon, or you did a major leg day, and then the next day you weigh in, your scale is going to be up. Chances are you didn't gain fat, you're just retaining water, or you gained muscle. So you can't use that as a judge. So remember, if you're super sore and the scale changes, that's why. Sleep quantity plays a huge role in what the scale says. Alcohol consumption, hydration, training intensity, and if you're taking a rest day, they actually say that your rest day should be before your weigh-in day, which is pretty interesting. Meal timing, and there's so many other reasons why the scale will go up. So a lot of times you answer your own questions when you guys message me. You'll say the scale went up, but I had chips and salsa yesterday. Even though I accounted for it, I know there was salt, which is 100% correct. Or I was up all night with my kid because he was sick, so I got no sleep. Stress. When we're stressed, our cortisol level goes up. When our cortisol level goes up, the scale is going to go up. It is not a true scale increase. If you get injured and it's swollen, or it's bruising, or it's really, really red and hot, and like when we got our boosters and stuff, that's going to make the scale go up. You're retaining water. That is not fat. Remember that. I get a lot of that also. I don't know. I've been doing really good. And, you know, because I can't exercise right now, I don't know why the scale's going up. I'm eating all my macros. It's just because you're injured. Give it a chance and it will go down. Okay. So I'm blind, so I have to pull this away from me. There are several ways to notice and track positive change when you are tracking macros. And they're markers of progress, not necessarily, because along with everything I'm going to say, fat loss will come with it in time. So the first thing is your measurements. When you first got in the app, there's a part, you can do it now too. You can put in your inches of your body parts in the app under body stats. If you scroll down, you'll see a picture of a body and there's little lines that you can input your inches. And somebody asked me to print out or screenshot what their first one was so they can compare it to now. And they've been in 2 challenges. So I did that for them. It's a great way to compare as long as you're measuring in the same spot. Your mood. Are you in a better mood? Do you feel like your mood has changed? Are you not as tired? Do you feel like you want to do more things? That's a huge progress on changing your lifestyle and your eating habits. If you're cranky, that usually means you're working out too much. And I'm going to talk about that too. Your energy level has gone up. Are you getting up in the morning to work out? Or did you used to work out in the evening? You were so tired, you would never do it. And now you're actually doing it. Or do you find like on the weekends when you didn't work out, all of a sudden now you want to work out? I know there's tons of people in the group that used to never work out that now look forward to working out. That's an energy. Frequency of exercise, just talked about it. A lot of people, when they're on a new program, they sleep better. So you might feel like you're sleeping better because you're nourishing your body. You're full when you go to sleep at night. Your body composition. So not necessarily measurements, not necessarily scale, but now your scrubs are bigger on you. Or your jeans that you couldn't button really good are now fitting perfect. Or the button up here that was always splitting open is now closing all the way. Like those are all huge accomplishments. Yeah, you might not see it on the scale, but isn't that freaking awesome? You get to go shopping in your own closet, right? You have a mindset shift. And this I know happens to everybody because I've asked this question. Raise your hand, and I can only see a couple of you because a lot of you must be busy and you're not letting me see you. But raise your hand if you now think in macros when you go out for dinner or when you look in your refrigerator or you look in your pantry. Isn't that crazy? When you came in here, you didn't even know what a freaking macro was, right? And now it's all of a sudden you look at a label and you're like, oh wait, what's in it? So I know if I can have it, or how much is in it? So I know if I can have it. That's a great mindset to have. You know, even if, you know, when you leave me and you decide you don't want to track anymore, which probably will never happen because I've been tracking for 13 years, but you'll still have that mindset and say, oh, I know that this is okay because there's only like 3 carbs and there's 17 proteins. Like you've learned what you need to put in your body. So your mindset has changed. That's huge. Any person that has ever left my program for one reason or another, whether they hit maintenance or they hit their goal, but they didn't go on maintenance, they just wanted to do it on their own after they hit their goal. One thing they always say is, I've learned so much about my personality and how my mindset and my habits have changed. And that is huge, because if you take that with you, it will always stay the same. Right? You got a new habit of drinking water. You're not just going to put that down. You made a new habit of exercising. That's going to stay with you. Those are huge. Thinking about what you eat before you eat it is huge versus just putting food in our mouths, stopping at McDonald's. Another great marker of progress is lab results, which I see all the time as well. People will message me and say, I got my blood work back and this went down and my doctor's so happy and he's so glad I'm doing this. And you know, he's so happy that I decided to take control of my life and blah, 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 blah. That's awesome. And I love when you guys share that with me. New habits. Yes, we're all creating new habits for sure. Somebody that I private train on Zoom that's in our tribe I trained her before our meeting at 5 o'clock or before our workout at 5 o'clock, I trained her. And she said, I'm not going to be at the 6 o'clock workout because I got to go get my steps in. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, that's a new habit. She never, she was consciously choosing what she was doing. She could have been like, you know what, I'm just going to stay and do the band workout. I'm already in my workout clothes. I'm in the house. But she went out and got her walking because that was her new mindset. Accomplishing new feats, doing a push-up, being able to do a pull-up, doing squats, holding a plank. Those are all progress, measurements of progress of your strength and your ability. If you were never able to do a plank for even 10 seconds and you're doing it now for 20, that's amazing. All those things will help your body transform. Your fitness performance, I just talked about that. I saw so many people, not so many people, there's a lot of people in the app that may have been runners, but now they're planning on doing 5Ks and half marathons and so many other things. And that's huge for like a fitness performance, the change of your fitness performance. Or people that were sedentary that are now starting to do something, because that's the most important thing, is getting up and getting moving. Knowledge of your body will come in time. There's things that I know that when I eat it, my scale goes up. I know I didn't gain weight. I know I didn't gain fat. Yes, it fucks with my head, of course, but deep down, I become that nutritionist and I remind myself that you didn't gain that fat. It's just because of this. And that whole, knowing your body will be huge. And you're all going to understand that as you start to get into the challenge. So the people that have been in the challenge for a while will know that. Like the people that couldn't exercise for a while, now they're back to exercising, they feel so much better, and they knew that. It's crazy. This one can go both ways. Your digestive system. So, and we've talked about this before about fiber. If you're not getting enough fiber or you're getting too much fiber, you can get constipated, or you can get diarrhea. I hate to say it, but you can. So you need to watch your fiber numbers. You don't want to really be over 25 and you don't want to be under, let's say, 17. And you can see your fiber in your log per day. Everybody's different. So you'll know your body over time. If you start to get constipated, look at your fiber and then start making adjustments and it will work. And I did that for someone the other day and it worked. So it's super important that you start to know your body in that way. Okay. I want you guys to think, has your appetite improved? When you first came into the challenge, were you like, I'm never going to eat all this food, and now you're looking forward to that food? Yeah, but you know why? Because your body wants that food. You were starving your body before. That's why when people say, I don't know why I wasn't losing weight, I was eating 1,200 calories a day, because your body thought you were starving it. So now it wants all the good food, like get in my belly. So when you first start, a lot of times what happens is nothing happens. Or the scale might go up 2 to 3 pounds that first weigh in. And you guys are all like, you'll message me, are you sure my macros are not too high? Or are you sure this is right? Did I give you the right workout? And I'm like, yes, trust the process. Because eventually your body, you have to fix your metabolism. It's kind of like reverse dieting, although I don't believe in reverse dieting. It's the same concept. When you're starving your body for so long, and then all of a sudden I'm like, eat, have all this. Now you're eating 400 or 500 calories more every day. Your body's like, holy shit, what am I gonna do with all this food? The scale is gonna go up. Eventually it fixes itself, and then all of a sudden it goes down. And that happened for somebody, and she messaged me and she's like, I was getting discouraged, nothing was happening. And all of a sudden I woke up and I'm under the 140s. And I was like, that's awesome. Because it happens. I love that, by the way. That's my favorite part of my job. Do you feel like you're more consistent now with your diet? Think about those things. You don't have to answer, but think about those things. Are you more consistent with what you eat? Do you notice you're not pulling into 7-Eleven or fast food places if you used to do that to grab and go? What was that, April? I don't know. You can't read your lips. And now I lost her. Now she's not even on as picture anymore. I don't know if she was telling me. Oh, she's getting closer. I know she knows how to come up with it. If she could see, right? Nope, you're still muted. You can type it in the comments if you want. I think she's going to type it in the comments. I can't tell. Okay. Anyway, we'll see if she comes on. That's awesome. But if she's typing in the comments, we'll see that too. I want you to ask you questions. Has your sleep quality improved? Are you getting more sleep? Are you drinking more water? Is water becoming a new habit in your life? Hopefully you guys are all saying yes, answering this in your head. And if you are not drinking half your body weight in some kind of water, seltzer, tea, coffee without creamer, you're doing yourself a disservice. That is that is like a non-negotiable. You know, we talked about that. Steps are negotiable. Not everybody can get them in. Water is a non-negotiable. There's Lauren sent me this picture the other day. I don't know if she's on here or not. She'll probably watch it on record. So she said, this was at 10:30 yesterday, my new best friend, and she sends me this picture. So I said to her, oh, is it your new BCAAs, the ones from Elite Nutrition? Is that what you're showing me as your new best friend? Or the water bottle? So then I pull it up on Amazon. I'm like, is this what you're showing me? And her reply back was, haha, yes and yes. It's helping her get her water in, and that water bottle is giving her her numbers. So for me, this water bottle is very overwhelming. I know, if I drink well over 10 of these, plus regular water, that I'll get my water in. Having something big to me is very daunting. Like, I feel like I have to chug it in like 5 seconds, and then I'm like, I don't want to drink it anymore. But those BCAAs are really, really good. They taste amazing. So I might order it just because I like to order things on Amazon anyway, and see if it works for me too. But have you changed your frequency of exercise from when you first started till now? If you did, that's huge, huge. These are all questions you should be answering yourself. Have you noticed any new habits? Stretching, logging before you eat, prepping your food, prepping your vegetables, prepping your fruit. Those are all markers of progress, because you are changing your lifestyle. You are changing your mindset, and all that will come together, whether in your clothes, on the scale, not so much. I hate the scale, but on the scale, your clothes. I've literally been between let's say 142 and 146 for 2 years. Has not changed. But my clothes I'm like in a size 4 Lululemon, for jeans. But before that, it was like a 6'8". So it's just your body will shrink. And that's the most amazing part. Like you'll be like, there's a couple of people in here that probably have even lost 5 pounds that I posted, but their body looks totally different. And I posted their pictures. You can even Google, like if you go online and Google body transformations without weight loss, it's crazy the things that come up, like the bodies that I've screenshot and showed you guys and said they weren't mine. Today I was freezing and pulled into Starbucks and couldn't find something that fit into my log and pulled out. I used to just order it and then just add a sandwich. That's awesome, April. You should be so proud of yourself for doing that. That's amazing, because that's super important. Okay, so think of all those different markers of progress. They're huge. And I want everyone that is on here, because I love when my phone blows up, I want everyone on here in the memes and motivation group. Don't private message me it. In the memes and motivation group, I want you to put on one marker of progress that we talked about. It could be your mindset. It could be your exercise. It could be the scale moving. It could be anything, but everybody has one marker. I know they do. You know, it could be your habit of water, getting your 10,000 steps in, anything we just talked about. I want you to drop it in the means of motivation. I don't even want you to add a reason. Like, I don't want you to say, I noticed that my markers, because I want people to wonder why you're doing it that aren't listening to the meeting. So just put in, Stacy's going to put in exercise daily, and Marcella's going to put in drinks my water. And I just want you to put whatever it is in there, because I want people to wonder, because I want them to start watching the meetings. But I also want to know what your markers of progress are without going into each one of your emails. It'll make it a lot easier for me too. The last thing I want to touch on, because I only have 6 minutes before I lose it, physically, not mentally, is, are you exercising too much? So I had a phone call with 3 people this week, 3 different tribe members. And I will do that if you're like on the verge of like panic mode, or you don't feel like you can't do it anymore. Just reach out to me, like, let's get on the phone. So 3 different people, and pretty much out of all 3 of their mouths was, I'm not hungry, so should I exercise more? Or will that help me with the scale moving? Should I exercise more? And the answer is no. You exercise what your life allows you to exercise. Do not increase your exercise because you think you're going to lose weight faster. I posted in one of the groups that cardio is the biggest misconception for fat loss. Stop over cardio. Do not be a cardio bunny. There's no reason to be on a treadmill for an hour. There's no reason to be on the Stairmaster for an hour. Get in the gym, get out. You don't want to live your life in the gym, but you have to lift. And I say this all the time too. I calculate your macros in a program. Like, I don't actually use like a calculator. It's in a program that you guys got the printout, 17-page report. And I input how many hours a week you exercise plus your daily activity. So and then that gives me your activity number. And then I figure out what your macros are. So if you tell me that you're on your feet all day, you get a higher level for activity. But if you tell me you sit at a desk all day, you get a lower level for your activity. It changes your macros a lot. Like mail people, deliver mail, UPS people, Amazon people have a much higher activity level than even someone like myself that coaches classes all day. So those are all taken into consideration. If you go ahead and start increasing your fitness, your body's going to go into starvation mode again. It's going to hold on to everything again, because you're not eating enough for your goals. Your numbers are for your goals. You must have a day of rest. Everybody needs one day of rest. Nobody should be exercising every day. Now, functional fitness, if you want to take your dog for a walk one day and that's getting you out, getting your steps in, that's awesome. But you should not be doing hard exercise works, Orange Theory, Cycle Bar, of course I'm naming every place I work. You should not be doing that 7 days a week. Take one day, maybe do a light yoga day, that's okay. A meditation day, that's okay, but not like a power vinyasa day, a chill day. Because when you don't get enough rest, you'll get, because you're exercising too much, you're either going to get injured, or you're going to have poor performance, or you're going to get burned out. And burnout is a real thing. I see it every day with people. And you don't want that to happen to you. You want to be able to be consistent. What happens is when you exercise too much, you can't perform at your same top level. You're going to need longer periods of rest because you strain something's too sore. You're more tired. You can get depressed, have mood swings. Now, counterintuitive to what happens when you eat macros, it will make you not sleep if you exercise too much. You'll lose motivation. Your immune system will go down. People think that the more you work out, the bit better your immune system is. That's true if you exercise at a normal level. But when you over-exercise, you're compromising your immune system. And you will get anxious. You'll start getting anxiety. And that's usually because you're so used to working out 7 days a week, and now you can only get in 6, and now you have anxiety because you're not going to get the 7th day. Pull back and only allow yourself 5 to 6 days, whatever you told me. But nobody should be exercising 7 days. Not even Brian. Brian, you have a rest day, right? Yes. I mean, he's an elite athlete. He has to have a rest day.
Yeah, I take rest days when I need it. I just did a big race a few weeks ago, and I took like a week off to let my body heal. Because even if I'm not feeling it, I know I got like micro tears and stuff in there. Tonight, when we're done here, I'm gonna go run a marathon, and that's the first long run that I've had in like 2 weeks. So
you're gonna run a full marathon tonight when we get off?
Yeah. I'm all ready to go. I got I'm highly visible.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go run a marathon.
Yeah, I'll be done around like 2 a.m.
That's crazy.
So. And then back to work at 6 a.m.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But he eats a lot.
Gotta get in.
And he definitely feeds his body. So that's super important. Don't use Brian as an
example. You gotta avoid injury.
Yeah, exactly.
Avoid injury, take care of yourself.
You don't want to be out and not be able to do your races.
Right. Yep. So
we're all gonna get our sneakers on and go do a marathon, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. More power to you, Brian. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so how to avoid overtraining. Decrease your workouts before a competition or after. Brian just talked about that. Drink enough water when you're exercising. Try to get at least 8 hours of sleep each night. Don't use Brian as an example for that because he just told us he has pretty much no sleep. Cut back or stop exercising when you don't feel well, when you're under a lot of stress, and give yourself at least 6 hours rest in between workouts. And I would want to just go up on a tangent because you guys know I always do that. If you're sick, you have a cold, you have COVID, you have the flu, you don't have COVID, but you're not feeling well, you do not track macros. You stay hydrated, you take your meds, and you stay mindful. Do not message me and apologize to me because you didn't track your macros because you had COVID. I feel terrible when you guys do that, for one thing, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm like going to be like they used to call me the diet Nazi. Marcella, do you remember that from back in the day with Smart for Life? They used to call me the diet Nazi. I'm not the diet Nazi. I want you guys to all be well, be healthy. So the only thing I ask is when you're not tracking because you're sick. Yeah, the casual mention of a marathon, exactly, Laura. The only thing I do request is that you don't carb out or fat out. And we all have a tendency to do that because we all want comfort food when we're not feeling well, whether it be chicken noodle soup or any of those things. So you really have to be mindful, but not track it. So I don't care if you get all your proteins in or you get all your carbs or fats in, but don't go over your carbs and your fats, because that's just a recipe to gain weight because you're not doing anything because you're sick. But definitely stay hydrated. Brian, did you want to say something or you just hit your thing? You just hit your thing. Okay. So that is all I have today. I want to thank everybody that helped me with the new logo. Yay! My new website's going to come out. The new app is going to come out. It's going to be 8 weeks, so don't get all excited. I'm trying not to get myself excited. I'm already like overwhelmed because everything they asked me to do. I have less than a minute. The new tank tops, the tank tops that you guys all put an order in for are going to have the new logo, and I was holding out. So if you didn't get a tank top or a t-shirt and you want to order one, message me. I'm putting it in tomorrow. I had to wait for a special file from the person that did my logo. And I'm going to put another vitamin order in also with the drops, because I freaking love these drops, by the way. Can you tell I'm like wired? And I'm pretty sure that's it. So I hope you guys all have an amazing night. Sunday is going to be the workout at 11 a.m. We're going to do dumbbells. Hopefully you guys will be there. If not, we'll be thinking about you. And remember, always be badass. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming on.